News! A Thompson family gathering in Sun Valley, Idaho, July 6th to 13th, 2017, to celebrate a birthday and an anniversary. Since our first family gathering in 1987, we have increased from 6 to 17, and that did not include Andrew, who's unable to make the event. Flying over the Rockies into Haley Airport, the airport for Sun Valley, it is remarkably beautiful. Arriving in Haley Airport, GM and GP were met by Jeffrey and James and then driven to the Watkins house. The Watkins family had very kindly donated their house for the weekend with its beautiful view of Baldy Mountain and the ski slopes. And also we were met with a bottle of port and some wine. It was very hot, and we went into Ketchum, the nearest town, for lunch, and then GM had her annual ice cream to cool off. Back at the house, Julie, with a sore wrist, was still able to cook dinner for us. In the afternoon, we went down to the most impressive Sun Valley Lodge, which had a lot of features, including an outdoor skating rink, which seemed to function well in 90-degree weather. The Dodd family was in Sleeping Deer, Unit 894, which was very luxurious, big living room and 3 lovely bedrooms. Before dinner there was time for a hot tub, and Jeffrey had his back straightened out by Olivia walking up and down on it. The Clarks arrived in the late afternoon, and it looks like they're having a serious business discussion. Julie is checking out the plumbing, and now with the Dodds also arriving, we have almost a full house except Anna and Jamie for dinner. Anna and Jamie arrive next morning, and we have lunch at Conditori in the Sun Valley Lodge. Of course I can wear as many hats as I want, thank you very much. Checking out the skating rink, and then it's the swimming pool, which seems to make more sense. Now, with everybody present, it's time to get ready for dinner and have some hors d'oeuvres. And tonight we have guests, Robin and Frida Jeffs from San Francisco. Robin was my partner in Nassau for many years, and he and Frida drove all the way to join us. After the Jeffs left, it was time for the hot tub, which seemed to get crowded and more crowded by the minute. A happy Anna and Jamie, and perhaps a slightly disapproving Grandma looking down on the scene. The oldies then gathered round the fire for a drink.
Don't you touch me tomato, touch me yummy pumpkin potato. For goodness sake, don't touch me tomato.
But it wasn't long after that Grandma joined the dancers upstairs, and the noise was quite terrific. In fact, the next days there was a complaint from one of the neighbors. July the 8th and the big day, and it starts at the Sun Valley Club with a putting competition for everyone, 18 holes of putting. The course is actually quite tricky and takes a little bit of working out, which Julia is trying to do, wondering whether the flag should be in or out. I recorded my first shot, as it was practically the only good one I had all day. And here's Anna showing off her style, which was good, and this was her best shot of the day. Behind us were Grandma, Louis, and Jem, which we rather held up. And there's Grandma's ball racing to the hole for a hole-in-one. James also had a hole-in-one, and Jem was the overall winner with a score of 45. After lunch, we all set off for the 9-hole course at Bigwood. There were 7 of us all playing together, and there we have Grandma showing off her swing, and the other 6 were James and Jem and Jeffrey and Olivia and Alfie and myself.
tomato. Please don't you touch me, tomato. Touch me, I'm
Jem got into difficulty at one hole. There he is, finding his ball in somebody's garden, followed by a look at the pond, and then you can see his red shoe in the bushes on the other side of the golf course. Finally, here's some further swings demonstrated by Jem, whose ball went right, and James, whose ball went straight. Alfie trying to beat us home on his bike, and James arriving at the house.
The moment we kissed the night of the hayride.
GM and GP were not allowed out of their rooms until the decorations were complete, and very nice they were. And on the mantelpiece we had a few of the cards given to us, and it was time to open the champagne. The Magnum of Krug went down very well and didn't last very long, and you will note that GP is wearing a special tie for the occasion. A happy anniversary card from the Dog contingent, and a book recognizing our anniversary, organized by Nicholas with contributions by each of the grandchildren, and a lot of very nice photographs. Jeffrey with his hand on his heart, I'm going to be nice to my sister, and there he is, two of them together, and the third along with Jamie. Nurse with her hair down, and Jem watching the goings on. Grandma blowing a streamer at dinner, and Jeffrey cooling off in the fan. We had a very super dinner of all the dishes that I like, including some strawberry and cream cake, one for the anniversary and one for the birthday. A hippie photograph to show that we're still young, and then it was into the garage for a game of beer pong with two teams. By this time things were a bit out of control, and I'm not sure whose team was whose, but I do know that Judy threw the last pong into the beer.
The Halloween hop when everyone.
Outside there was a drone display and a full moon. There it is. The next day started with a hair braiding session, and a pretty good job was being done too. And then it was time for GM and GP to go to the supermarket, Atkinson's, to replenish the wine cellar and to buy some vegetables, I think. The activity for the day for the young was a hike up Mount Baldy for 3.5 hours, while the more elderly took it more leisurely in a cable car. Tanis is buying some tickets there. We had a happy ride up. The cars looked pretty solid, and the view was magnificent. We all met at the Roundhouse restaurant for lunch, the hikers and those on the cable cars, and from there the views were pretty amazing. A view of the town of Ketchum and the Sun Valley Lodge area. Lunch was good, and the Bloody Marys were magnificent. Jeffrey, who'd gone on to the 9,000-foot top, now appeared. After lunch we had a family photograph, and there are two versions to be sure everybody was caught smiling. And we see a happy family photograph of the Thompsons. After lunch, Tanis and Rosemary, Jeffrey, GM and GP decide to go on to the top. This time more leisurely for Jeffrey. And on the way up we see some of the ski runs, and the view from the top was pretty stunning. We are now at 9,010 feet, And there's a map of the valley along with another view. Back into Ketchum for a night at Grumpy's, where the staff were lively and energetic. The decor was unusual. The signage was explicit. The queues were long. The beer was in large glasses, and the hamburgers were excellent. So we all had fun, drinking our beer and eating our hamburgers. The final event of the day was bowling at the very modern bowling facility at Sun Valley Lodge. First we have to choose which balls we're going to throw, and then the man had to unblock the tunnel so that the balls would come back to us. So finally we get underway. Some of us are experts at it, as Jeffrey is, and others were just learning. And Grandma had to use a dinosaur to get her ball down there. The winner of the tournament was Jamie with 126 points, followed by Jeffrey and Jem. It's a secret where Rosemary's shot ended up, but it certainly looks good when it starts. Hope you liked episode 1. Episode 2 is coming up shortly.